Are you trans? Do you have a bad relationship with your parents? And do you like robots in a special way? Well, first of all, DM me. Secondly, become a wagey and work 8 hours so you can earn €23.99 so you can play ULTRAKILL.
But why? Take the red pill and taste like red. Take the blue pill and you find out just exactly why everyone is geeking about the concept of fraud. This is ULTRAKILL, a fast-paced movement shooter where if you can't hear colours, just give it a minute. Back in 2020 when everyone was dying of soft cold from the mystical land of Finland, where Clash of Clans comes from for you uneducated folk, Cruelty Squad and several other games that someone saw you playing you'd get put in a rubber room within a day. This man, named Asayuki Patala, kind of spat out this masterpiece with the release of the demo in August of 2019, where some of the earliest adopters, artistic neurons, were firing like crazy. When you could still join the now exclusive ULTRAKILL Discord server, which is now harder to get into than a Diddy party. And with the further release of the early access update in late 2020, it was a hit. Turns out some people really, and I mean really, enjoy exploding hell monsters. You start the entire game by seeing the scariest thing a game has to offer: settings. But when you face your fears of volume sliders, you finally get to do the tutorial, where you press F a bit and maybe dash. After this tutorial gets you the horror of a finished name, and a pillar with an extremely low poly gun on it. Walking towards it, you get jump scared by red letters. But after you recover from scares and spooks at the same frequency as potshots in the trenches of World War I, you get to stop playing Geometry on your hospital monitor, rip out your IV needle, you need the blood, and take at least 5 times the human limit of Adderall. You find out that once the ULTRAKILL logo flashes and you enter cardiac arrest, to the point that your heart might as well have been a different race, and you see the ULTRAKILL equivalent of 5 wet paper towels thrown at you from a Fent leader that you can interact with at the bus stop to rage bait, the aptly named Filth, a lesser demon whose only mode is hunger, much like your mother. But that is the least important thing in this room, as surprisingly picking up the low poly gun gets you a low poly gun, which has 2 firing modes. If you left click, it fires a hit scan attack that can hit a lot of things. But the firing mode you probably want is the powerful pierce attack, but it's really the only tool you have right now to break glass, which is kind of important, but not really. Do you really have to do this? No. God, no. Do you want to touch a piece of plumbing in a way that removes your school zone entering privileges? You can, using the infamous pipe clip. And with the pipe clip, you can literally skip the entire first level. This is ULTRAKILL speedrunning at its finest, playing absolutely none of the game so you can get back to looking at your Opera GX 2B feet wallpaper and talking to a questionably aged Discord user, or if you're my co-writer who needs to get back to work. But regardless, if you use the pipe clip to get shattered across space and time to shave off a couple of seconds, or if it's your first playthrough and you aren't the type of person who uploads the all bosses compilations for games the second it comes out, you will still have to beat the final enemy. The one, the only, Maurice. An enemy physically harder than the big Steen seeing a FNAF animation on 4chan. Honestly, it's a nothing burger of a fight, and unless you're heavily deficient in everything, you should be fine. Now, we won't be talking about every single level, because we all know no one cares about, like, Old Ash 4, so I'll just be talking about the levels with the important stuff, so you can get back to doom scrolling X, the everything app, and getting really, really sad. 1 second.
Gulp.
Okay. The rest of the prelude has maybe three more important things. First, the wonderful swords machine. You can enter the Sussy Amogus fence and get a secret boss fight encounter of swords machine 1 level early, which lets you get the shotgun 1 level early. Which, for a primary fire, it fires like, I don't know, like 13 projectiles, remember that. But for the amazing alt fire, you get to spit out a claw, which can bite and blast the average Mongolian family of 6 to the face of the planet. The swords machine fight kinda messes up the like continuity and the lore progression, but if I start talking about that, the normal pill bots are coming and they're gonna make me normal. The thing that I know you think I forgot about is the entrance to the secret level, which is themed after the average mascot horror game, being scary and having a big black man chase you while you do menial tasks for the sake of it, like an average 9 to 5. If you beat the secret level, you get a trauma dump from God himself. Now, once again, I will talk about every level, but the normal pills are starting to grow legs and inching towards me. At the end of the only layer with more than 4 levels, you face a dog identifying as a statue and his twin with the same hardness physically as the average NYC Project tracksuit wearer. The challenge aspect is actually easier than the average Deltoon Chapter 2 enemy.
In paradise, folks, but don't forget to buckle up out there in Radioland. Remember, good driver, good, not a safe driver. He's a good driver, good driver, good.
Limbo. You're probably getting used to this Bowser's Castle looking hell factory, but no, we can't get what we want. So, boom. You're outside now. Your worst nightmare as a Discord mod. Don't get too close to the walls though. They're walls. You were never really outside in this bright lair where each level gets progressively more night themed. You were introduced to the drone, a massive pain in the
hyperlink locked.
This massive lobster with the face of Germa and yourself. Literally yourself, but red, something. This is the first skill check of the game, so put on your gamer kit and earmuffs and get to shooting your not femboy evil self. Limbo has 5 main points of interest. The secret level, which is a blatant ripoff of The Witness. The infertile rat. Yourself, blatant ripoff of Celeste. Your clone doesn't feed off blood to heal, it's just really durable. And honestly, my least favorite weapon in the game is the nail gun, which we'll talk about. Now, the nail gun, the most consistent form of DPS in the game and lacking in everything else. The nail gun is a minigun, basically, with an alt fire that does the opposite of what you do, attracts things. In 1-4, you pick up skulls, and you play with yourself. I mean beat yourself, I mean play against yourself. And after you're finished beating yourself up, or realistically, since you are a degenerate, you will lodge 4 coins into his forehead. And after you've done that, you get the second army in the game, the Knuckle Blaster, which is a counterpart to the Feedbacker, the best weapon in the entire game, because it allows you to parry projectiles, including your shotgun pellets, and it makes me feel. The Knuckle Blaster is just the opposite of the Feedbacker. It's bad, I don't like it. It's just a slow punch that does like double damage of the Feedbacker, but if you hold your fist out, it wraps to create a shockwave, and that shockwave has 1 use in the entire game. Also in 1-4 is the final pedestal to the alternative low polygon. The slightly less poly revolver. There's this little box at the side of your screen, and you've probably seen it unless you're a German Shepherd police dog with tunnel vision. This box on the side of your screen is your style meter. The game basically uses ChatGPT or something, I know I'm not smart, to rate how nonchalant you're playing. Or it uses a basic addition, and you get points for it if the game thinks you're crazy enough to get the fabled P rank, or perfection. It's just the ultimate challenge. These P ranks get incredibly difficult later on. These starter points are basically the one and only currency of the game, as it allows you to get weapon variations and skins. The skins are useless, as is you in any walk of life. So we'll be covering the weapon variations, which most of the time are just blatant improvements for the base weapon, like the marksman, which is a variation of the low poly gun, which if you don't know the complexity of, just like, I don't know, watch a video glazing it because there's tons. Or if you're lazy or realistically watching this on your second monitor, the marksman launches a coin in the air, and if you shoot it, it homes to an enemy and does more damage. There's also like the sawed-on shotgun, which is just a Doom Train assault, but better. And yeah, there's so many variants. I don't have enough time to cover each one. Just play the game if you haven't already. But realistically, you have played the game because you're still here. Anyways, leaving the overworld after fighting your evil self, you get sent to the Mega Synthwave Goonerland. You start off this lair in a dark, purplish cave, not unlike your mother's basement, which we assume you're very familiar with at this point. After scaling some platforms, you get launched up and boom! You're in the sky above this sprawling futuristic city. Looks like Akita predicted where most of the fanbase is going. We don't talk about how the city looked before the revamp update, uh, but anyways, let's divert our attention to the massive dude with chains and barbed wire around him. That looks like that one aunt the family doesn't talk about anymore. He's vent leaning so hard that if he was any worse, he'd finally fit in Los Angeles. In this lair, you are introduced to the Mind Flayer. Yes, the only woman enemy in the game. I assume this was left in to attract a certain demographic. You. Not long after this, you were given a new weapon, the Biden Blaster itself, and an entrance to the secret level, if you smell bad enough, which is just a dating simulator. If there are children in the game, there would be a prime target with the Biden Blaster. You get this little electricity bolt in your HUD that slowly charges up and releases a massive charge that pierces enemies. This weapon is pretty cool since it's electric, so it can conduct through the magnets from that nail gun of yours, killing every enemy currently in the water. It's like that one time you dropped Toaster into the public swimming pool back in '99. Anyways, after this you're sent to the New York subway. It's pretty similar at least, especially since the Fent leader himself has returned. First you have to tickle his hand while he tries to smack you into the wall like an annoying fly, until he brings it away and you can finally fight him face to face. He's absolutely massive in every meat that you can think of. Luckily for your puny stuff, you can punch his punches back to him. Yes, you can parry his punches right back into his face. Like what you do with your cousins at every family function, and then gaslight everyone into thinking you did nothing wrong and you're an angel. After you get this guy to hit himself enough, he falls down onto the train, filling his massive mouth for you to enter. Entering this big black hole brings you into a really janky meat dimension. Walls of pulsating raw beef and stomach acid stenching off that one guy in school who clearly never showered, even though he said he did 3 times a week, which still would not have been enough. According to the developer, this isn't actually inside Mr. Fentliner, King Minos, but is actually just somewhere else. According to Hakita himself, Hell is alive and works like the backrooms. So you're really in the third layer of hell, gluttony, where your mother belongs. And in 3-1, you have two options for an exit, those being the regular exit and a secret exit that's really easy to access. much like the safe that American schoolchildren's parents keep the gun in. All you need to do is get the entire prelude and Act 1 to P rank, and well, the following level is very difficult, like really difficult, but I'll talk about that later. The other thing in Gluttony is 3-2, the final level of Act 1, and your first interaction with that one guy who told Mary she is pregnant, the new and improved Judge of Hell, Gabriel. One of many skill checks to come, and honestly, he's a really difficult boss, but my tip is just launch a screwdriver from the bottom blaster variant and you're okay. After you beat Gabriel, there's a mega lore dump and you get to access the wonderful Act 2. Guess what? You're in Egypt. Except they did a British National History Museum and took a couple of landmarks. But the main attraction of Greed is the massive pyramid. The layer centers around V1's journey, or your journey, through the big pyramid starting from outside of it, and eventually the player makes their way up the tower and must clear it themselves. Again. Remember that guy that gave you the red fist? He's back. Now he's even faster and stronger than before. In his second phase, he jumps out the window. One of two pieces of evidence of the Russian government in the ULTRAKILL lore. You follow him, and a chase ensues down the side of the pyramid. You get him, and he absolutely splatters himself into a red mist off of the ground beside the pyramid, leaving you with the third fist, the whiplash. This thing is an absolute lifesaver. You're able to grab onto the enemies and these hook points, bringing smaller enemies towards you and bringing you to heavier enemies. But it has its downsides, being whenever you are whiplashing an enemy, it builds up hard damage which can only be dissolved by being cool and building up style. This closes out the Spain layer, except for the secret level. It's like really bad, like genuinely terrible. Now this closes out the Spain layer, and it's time to take a dip, similarly to my co-writer at age 4 being dropped in the pool for an extended period of time. Wrath is wet, and I mean really wet, like a gamer girl bathwater wet. Wrath is set in the river Styx, and every river needs an easily bribed ferryman and a caged god who will lay waste to the land. And it has both those things. It passes with flying colors. But Wrath and Greed, and honestly most of the game, kind of have this pattern of okay level, amazing level, bad level, and boss level. Now, personally, I'm not calling the bad and okay levels bad. It's just compared to the other things, they're really bad, but in a vacuum, they're actually really good. But you won't catch me replaying, like, the quote-unquote bad levels, except for a better rank. I could go on for hours. But I don't want to be able to go in the dream music video, so I can't, unless the pills will make me normal. The only thing of relevance 5-1 has is the fact that it's underwater, so no hard damage with the whiplash. And the entrance to the secret level, which is honestly a really good level with 12 fish to catch. Those being a friendly fish, the developers are fish sonar, a trout, a sentient piece of steel, filth in fish form, I bombed my eyes after I saw the average Gotcha Life cringe compilation, the fish in Doom and Quake, the thing that jump scares you in the game based off of the Markiplier movie, the average UK meal, the humble fish finger, a grilled fish, and the trans shark.
Here, my house, my God, help me!
Hi, welcome to Hell. Your sin is heresy. Allow me to give you a nice tour of your now eternal pain and torment. Firstly, we have the Lava Coffin package, which costs just an eighth of your soul and humanity. Okay. Yes, sir. Alright. I have to go and pay $20 for my children's lives. Never die in LA. We will have this random guy give you the tour instead.
So, hi, again, we'll be looking at Heresy, which has two main points of interest, both in the second and last level of Heresy in Act 2. The main one everyone has to go through is the rematch with the only Gabriel, but he's a massive pushover. Like the first game fight, it's harder. Remember that door in Gluttony I was talking about earlier? That's the door to the first Prime Sanctum, where you fight the Flesh Prism and Minos Prime, the soul of the previous Judge of Hell and the King of the Lust Lair. But he got so infused with determination that it formed a perfect life form, and you have to kill him. On the hardest difficulty, it took me 4 hours and 850 deaths to beat him on the hardest difficulty, and I had like 100 hours in the game at that point. But after you beat him and P-rank all of Greed, Graft, and Heresy, you get access to P-2. So at the end is the Flesh Panopticon, which is just a really hard boss, and the man that just did an involuntary C-section to that cube is the man from Greek myth that pushed a boulder up a hill for all eternity, and was the king of the Greed Lair. Pushing a boulder up a hill was probably a really good workout due to the fact that he will turn you into scrap metal in mere seconds. But if you somehow get him to half health, he grows a beard and gets stronger. So if you haven't already died, you will now. Like, right now. All this talk about violence is making me wonder what's after Heresy, and it's convenient you were just fighting for your life just then, because you'll be doing it again, because you just got enlisted into World War I.
Think fast, Chuckle Nuts!
This isn't violence. This is calm and peaceful. The only thing out of place here is the red of these statues on the skull. Yeah, no, this is a ruse which is falling apart by the second. But in the first level, the entire ruse just dismantles itself just then and there. In the second level, there's no ruse at all. You are placed in the trenches fighting a war for a species that died years ago. You also get the best weapon in the game, the jackhammer, the alternate version of the shotgun, which you find in a cave in 7-2. Faster you're going, the more damage it does when you release. Even though the lore for this level is really good, the gameplay is better. But we can't have good things, because the level right after this makes me want to commit violence, but it does have the entrance to the Power Wash Simulator secret level. 7-4, it's good. You scale a massive giraffe named Benjamin and blow it up from the inside. There you have it, the entire game. All of it. Honestly, I'm really surprised I made it this far. I hope you consider buying this game. Thanks for watching. I made this by myself. I wrote the script in like the space of not even 3 days. And yeah, just thank you. I made it for myself. I'm just putting it on YouTube. Thanks.